All right. July 15th. A non-binding amendment led by Representative Ro Khanna aimed at compelling Attorney General Pam Bondi to release Epstein-related materials. Result: a failed by a narrow 211 to 210 party line vote. The party that ran on releasing these Epstein files, the party of QAnon, of Save the Children, is voting no, do not release those files. How curious. And then July 22nd, House Financial Services Committee votes on the Rashida Tlaib amendment. The committee considered an amendment by Representative Rashida Tlaib to release financial transaction records associated with Epstein. Result: blocked by the committee's GOP majority. These are two separate votes, and then there's additional issues happening around this. So between July 22nd and today, the Rules Committee and House leadership made these maneuvers where, though not formal roll call votes, Republican leaders were blocking or tabling several motions during Rules Committee sessions and the House floor, retroactively setting aside potential votes on file release. So just blocking any chance of looking at this stuff. Today, finally, some Republicans came over and joined our side, and the vote finally went through, but not with some shenanigans involved as well, because it couldn't just be that easy. So we're going to look at that real quick and see exactly how this went down, because to me, this is maybe the most corrupt moment in US politics that I have seen, like just so shamelessly corrupt. And I'm just going to show you what happened. Actually, let's see. Midas Touch kind of covered it, so we'll check out what they said.
So now go into this House Oversight Subcommittee. And you have Democratic Congress member Garcia, the ranking member of the House Oversight Committee right now. And then you have Democratic Congresswoman Lee. They planned this. They knew they had the votes. I showed you a lot of that video. They knew they had the MAGA Republican Congress members in the room who would vote for this. The hearing was on another matter. It was right before MAGA Mike was able to send Congress into recess. So the Democrats pounced. They said, actually, we want to add this amendment to release the Epstein files. Let's subpoena the DOJ. And then Clay Higgins, who chairs this committee, he's like, oh, okay, let's go into recess. So you're going to watch that. Then they come out of recess.
Yeah, let's go into recess. We're not going to, it's just stalling for the inevitable.
And then they take a vote on it. By the way, you'll see that Lauren Boebert was just a no-show right there. They take a vote on it. It's obvious that the ayes, the yes, release it, issue the subpoena, beats the nays, beats the no votes. But then you'll see, I just want to spell it out for you so you know what you're watching here, because these maneuverings in Congress can be a little bit weird. So then Clay Higgins is like, the noes have it. And it was like, what are you talking about? The voice vote was clear that the ayes have it. The yes, release the files, subpoena the DOJ. He's like, it's no. And you'll see some Congresswoman Lee looking at him and going, it was yes. And then Congressmember Garcia is like, roll call. And then you'll see it was an 8-2 vote against Donald Trump, meaning the MAGA Republicans joined with the Democrats when they were put on the spot. So with that as background, watch what went down.
If what he just said is what happens, how is that not the most corrupt moment you've ever heard of? An 8-2 vote, 8 voices saying yes, 2 lonely voices saying no, and the chair, and the most unethical move I could possibly imagine, the noes have it. As what? Like another stalling, like no one's going to call him on that? Like it didn't just happen in front of everybody? It's absolutely disgusting. It's mind-blowing. This should be the number one story. This person should be out of the job. You're allowed to just lie?
You're going to love this. Here, play this clip.
Document into the record listing the members of this committee and their individual calls to release the Epstein files.
Shauna, without objection. The subcommittee stands in recess, subject to the call of the chair.
Point of order.
The way he said that was very deliberate. So without objection, he pauses. They don't know what he's about to say. They don't know what's happening. So no one's objecting to what? And then, I choose to go to recess. Bye. so slimy. And this is all for what end? This isn't like he's trying to do this weird maneuvering and illegal actions and like bending the rules to like for some like greater end because he's trying to like serve democracy or the American people in some kind of way and trying to get around other bad actors. No, it's to block the world's most prolific pedophile and sexual assault deviant in the history of America.
Are we not
We're in
going to take the
recess.
vote?
We're in recess. That was a previous order.
Yeah.
Mr. Chair, we need to take the vote from the motion.
Like, bro, the vote?
We're in recess pursuant to previous order.
Are you okay? You know where you are right now?
Passed without objection. So we're in recess, and we will move to those votes. So this is out of order conversation. I'm just being polite.
This is an out of order conversation.
That we move without objection. Votes would be moved until after deliberation.
It's just brownie points for Trump. That's all it is.
All subject to call of the chair. Our hope is today we have
Forever
plans.
recess.
We have plans.
They have forever recess. Children will not.
So when is the actual, when are we back in session for this subcommittee? After votes?
That subject to the call of the chair, as I stated. So
We're going to do a permanent
reflective of
recess.
the previous order. So stand by.
Can I make a quick phone call?
And now we will be
And now we're back. You just delayed the inevitable. So let's see what move he has up his sleeve now.
calling up Ms. Lee's motion as amended. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. No.
Nobody.
In the opinion of the, pardon?
The ayes have it.
In the opinion of the chair, the no has it.
You're out. One strike, you're out. Two strikes, you're out. But what is the explanation for this? What is the explanation for allowing this man to continue serving after deliberately lying in front of all these people about the result of that vote? That cannot stand. Everyone should be calling for his resignation right now. Everybody. Left, right, center, independent. Who I don't want that. If that was a Democrat, I'd be calling for him to be fired.
Recorded vote, sir.
Recorded vote is called, has it.
Recorded vote, sir.
The whole
Recorded
of this
vote
laughs.
is called for. The clerk will read the call.
And now we're going to do a roll call, which he knows they've done a roll call on every single one of these votes has had a roll call because even when it is obvious that the no's have it, people want to make sure that everyone is going to have their name tied to that no. Okay, you voted no to have these files released, despite saying you wanted them released to protect evil people. Okay, that's your legacy now. And that's Higgins' legacy now.
Call the roll.
Mr. Gosar. Mr. Biggs. Ms. Mace. Ms. Mace votes aye. Mr. Perry. Mr. Perry votes aye. Ms. Boebert. Mr. Jack.
Aye.
Mr. Jack votes aye. Ms. Lee. Ms. Lee votes yes. Mr. Bell.
Aye.
Mr. Bell votes aye. Ms. Simon. Ms. Simon votes aye. Ms. Presley. Ms. Presley votes aye. Mr. Garcia.
Aye.
Mr. Garcia votes aye. Mr. Chairman.
No.
Mr. Chairman votes no.
Not recorded, I believe.
Mr. Biggs is not recorded. Mr. Biggs votes nay.
Gotcha.
Mr. Chairman, on this vote, the ayes are 8, the nays are 2.
Oh, but he heard
Now
more
here's
no's.
Congresswoman Lee talking about what went down in her own words.
I know Ben Meisler has like a lot going over here, but I really wish he lingered on this longer. He just laughs it off. I can't get past it. I don't know if like maybe I just don't know enough about this. Maybe this happens every time. There's some shenanigans and or whatever, but like I'll never get over this. That you can look people in the eye. You're in this position of ethics. You're in a position of you need to be honest. How can we trust anything out of this side ever again? Whole crowd of people, aye. Nose? Oh, the nose have it. Shameless and shameful. People should be calling for him to be out of the job.
Had a hell of a day.
It's
So
been a
thank you
long
so
one.
much for being here. So a lot has happened today, and I just tried to outline it. The full oversight committee said is going ahead with the subpoena. What happens next?
Well, next, after Comer signs it, right? He said it. He has to sign it. He signed the one for Maxwell within 24 hours. So he says that we expect it. Then the DOJ has to release those files to the federal law enforcement ranking subcommittee, to the minority and majority, and we go from there. But right now, what we asked for were the unredacted, complete files. At the end of the day, if someone has participated in child sex trafficking, I don't care if they're a prince or a president or if they're anybody in between, they should be held accountable. They were just trying to make this a both sides thing to make up for the fact that they were being hypocrites, that they said that this is what they want. You saw it, right? We read off all of the members of the subcommittee who called very publicly for these files to be released. We saw that they ran on this in the last election, from Trump on down to all of his folks. They all ran on this. So they're just trying to distract from the fact that they're being hypocrites, that they know that they're choosing to protect Donald Trump over the very victims that they keep giving lip service to, that they're choosing to protect Donald Trump over transparency for the American people that they're calling for. They're very based in all Americans of all different parties. And that's really what that was about.
Okay, now here is Lauren Boebert being a no-show. Play this clip.
Perry votes aye. Ms. Boebert. Mr. Jack.
Aye.
Mr. Jack votes aye.
By the way, here's what Senator Murkowski has to say about these files. Play this clip.
Speaker Mike Johnson is sending the House home, so they don't have to vote on it. So that sounds like you think they should just release everything.
Just be done with it. Be done with it. If in fact there's no there for the president, get it out there. Just get it out there and be done.
Does it give you any pause with the reporting tonight that he was told his name is included in it? That doesn't mean that he did anything wrong, but do you think that is a factor in why they have been hesitant to put more information out there?
So hard to determine what may or may not have been a factor. But I don't think it's any secret. Certainly the president has not made it a secret that years and years ago, he was a friend of Jeffrey Epstein, and that was a time prior they had a falling out, and there has been no engagement since. But
he's still wishing Ghislaine Maxwell well on her way into prison for 20 years for biggest sex trafficking scandal of our time. So yeah, I don't know how big that falling out was. He was best friends with him for 10 years. During the height of the sex trafficking. They were neighbors, they hung out, women were trafficked from Mar-a-Lago. The idea that, maybe he did nothing wrong. And the flip-flopping on the existence of the files. What happened? Did we all forget that Pam Bondi said there are no files? That was an official statement. Like, there are no Epstein files. And also, there are Epstein files. From the President of the United States, there actually are Epstein files, and they're a hoax. And now we're going to get them, and what's going to be the repercussions, the consequences? Are these people all going to be forced to resign? Pam Bondi should be forced to resign. Kash Patel, who ahead of time said he has direct access to all of these files. He said it about the previous FBI director, saying they are the ones who have control of all this. And they do. They have access to all of it. He said, if I had anything, don't you think I would release it? He said that. It was recorded. He was caught in 4K. So what's going to happen when these come out and they're real and they're not a hoax? Kash Patel, Pam Bondi, Donald Trump, all lying to us about a sex trafficking scandal spanning decades where one person was put in jail and under controversy killed themselves, and another person was put in jail for 20 years. If it's all a hoax, why are these people put in jail? I feel like I'm losing my mind. I know people are covering this, but I don't know. I don't see enough outrage. I don't see enough confusion and coverage in general. And I'm going to be real interested to see like what the consequences are. I know these people seem like they're untouchable, and Donald Trump seems like he's untouchable. Is this allowed? Like, vice versa. Have you ever heard a Democrat in any way try to offset Bill Clinton, or like, oh, what if Biden's in the files? Okay. Bye, Felicia. All right, they're gone. Put them, they should be jailed. Clinton's in there, put them in jail. Like, have you ever heard anyone have any issues with that? Donald Trump's in them? Oh, well, hold on, they're not real, and actually they're a hoax, and actually maybe he's not really in them, and he was just a friend, and they're just neighbors, and like, what? It's not. This is not a both sides thing. As much as people want to believe it is a both sides thing. It was QAnon pointing the fingers at the left for the longest time, and now realizing they had four fingers pointed back at them the entire time.
If there's really nothing there, again, just put it out. Get this behind us. And again, what you're seeing happening now is the country is talking about this. Well, at the same time, the Congress has so much work that we need to be doing. We don't need to be caught up in the chatter about what is in, what is not in, but we can't get to it because of this. I view it as a political distraction, and I think if the administration wants to get beyond it, if President Trump wants to get beyond it, just get this stuff out there and let's move forward.
Now, MAGA Mike Johnson was none too pleased. Earlier in the day, MAGA Mike was claiming, why would we pass any resolutions here to urge the administration to do something they're already doing? The administration's already saying that they're going to release the files. No, they're not. What are you talking about? The administration's trying to cover up the Epstein files for Trump. MAGA Mike Johnson, you pathetic loser, you just got outmaneuvered by Democrats. Play this clip.
I will not allow the House to be drug into political gamesmanship. Not going to do it.
Promises that Republicans made to voters over Jeffrey Epstein. Why not more of a sense of urgency? Why not just hold a vote today?
There's no point in having a vote today because the administration is already doing everything within their power to release them. They've gone to the grand jury. They've requested the courts to unseal the documents so that they can be released. The president himself has said all credible evidence should be put out to the American people.
All credible evidence, all approved evidence. Who's deciding what's the credible evidence and what's not credible evidence? I wonder what that deciding factor would be.
While protecting the innocent. That's where we stand as well. There's no point in passing a resolution to urge the...
While protecting the innocent. And part of that is protecting innocent people who are part of the phony stuff that Trump was talking about in the Fox News interview that was edited, which he sued CNN for doing, or as MSNBC, they sued them for doing that with Kamala. They do it for him with Epstein, and it's okay. It's just it's okay to cover up sex trafficking. It's not okay to edit it and answer to sound a little smoother talking, but it is okay to edit an interview to cover up decades-long sex trafficking of children. Way to go, MAGA. Way to go. Pat yourselves on the back. This is your legacy. This will be your legacy.
The administration do something that they are already doing, and so that's why we're going to let that process play out. This is not out of fear in any way. What we're trying to do is maximize transparency and stand for the truth. We want. Wait, let me say this, very important. We want every single person who was involved in any way in the Epstein evils to be brought to swift justice. We want the full weight of the law to fall upon their head. And I will do everything within my power to make sure that is possible. That process is underway right now. and we'll see how it plays out.
Folks, there's some real cracks in this regime right now over the Epstein files. And then you have MAGA Mike Johnson, saying, we're not scared. We're not fearful of any of this. What are you talking about? We're totally cool. Here, play this clip.
They're concerned. I mean, obviously, we've seen the conservatives shut down the House floor routinely. You saw that you had to pull the rule because of fear of the Epstein votes.
No, we don't have any fear. No, hold on. No, Reese, no. There's no fear here. No, there's no fear. There's no fear. We're not going to allow the Democrats to use this as a political cudgel. Remember, they had 4 years.
Dude, Republicans just voted on it too. Bipartisan now. They didn't want their names tied to a no vote. Some of them have a conscience, apparently, or some self-preservation.
Years. Hold on. The Biden administration held the Epstein files for 4 years. Not a single one of these Democrats or anyone in Congress made any peep about that at all. They could have.
Great. This keeps coming up. You're criticizing Democrats for not releasing the files. All right, bet. Let's release them then. Democrats are all calling for it. You just criticize them for not calling for it and not releasing them. I will criticize Biden for not releasing it. Biden, you should have released it. What the F? Okay. I own that. So now we're going to make up for it and call for them to be released, which you obviously agree with because you just criticize the Democrats for not releasing them. No, but you're not going to do that. You're making an empty political point and stalling.
Brought a discharge petition at any point in the last 4 years. They chose not to. They waited until President Trump was elected. I think that's very suspect. And
why would it matter who's in power? It could be any president. If what's in the files is what's in the files, who's in power when it's released is not going to change what's in the files. Who is that tricking? Who is this line tricking? I would love to meet that person.
I will not allow the House to be drug into political gamesmanship. Not going to do it.
Okay there, MAGA Mike Johnson. Sure. So now what happens? So now we have a subpoena being issued to the Department of Justice, turn over the Epstein files. At the same time, we know from that new bombshell Wall Street Journal report that Donald Trump's name is all over the file. So redact the victim's name, turn over the files. So now what's the Department of Justice going to do? What's Bondi going to do? Is she not going to turn it over? Is she going to obstruct, which will make Donald Trump look extra guilty, especially now that we know his name is all over it?
That's her job. That's why she was hired. That's why all these people were hired to be yes people. That was the number one qualification for their jobs was, are you going to do what I say when the time comes? That was the number one prerequisite for Kash Patel, Pam Bondi, and everyone else in the cabinet. Will you be subservient to me, Donald Trump?
Other development as well that I want to mention is that the Epstein victim's lawyer was on MSNBC last night and said, you know that binder, the leather-bound binder for Epstein's 50th birthday that Donald Trump sent that birthday card about, enigmas never age and let's keep our secrets always. We'll always share secrets together. Remember? The lawyer for the Epstein victims says that binder is with the estate. So all you have to do is subpoena the estate of Jeffrey Epstein, and then you can get that binder. So then Democratic Congressmember Ro Khanna heard that and said, okay, we're going to subpoena that. We're going to get that leather-bound binder, and we'll show the world, that was actually Donald Trump who wrote that letter, and we'll prove that as well, that he was lying. What you going to do now, MAGA Mike Johnson? And also, earlier in the day, Democrats outmaneuvered MAGA Republicans again, and they called for and got the subpoena to take the deposition of Ghislaine Maxwell. Now, how did Donald Trump try to deal with the Ghislaine Maxwell deposition?
The walls are closing in, man. To get that binder, it's just more evidence.
By the House of Representatives. Well, that's why Donald Trump today is sending the Attorney General, Pam Bondi, and the Deputy Attorney General, Todd Blanche, to meet with Ghislaine Maxwell. And Ghislaine Maxwell's lawyer told the Wall Street Journal words to the effect of, we're excited to meet with the Trump administration and see what they have to say. Ghislaine Maxwell's lawyer also told CNN, before we're taking this one step at a time. So before we determine how she's going to participate in a deposition with the House of Representatives, we want to see how the meeting goes with the Department of Justice. Hint, hint, they are angling for a pardon, a commutation, a retrial, or something to that effect. But now, even though the Trump regime is clearly trying to, in my opinion, do some deal with Ghislaine to silence her in exchange for something, on the other hand, you now have the House of Representatives going right for the files that the Department of Justice has through another subpoena. So this is maximum pressure, and you got to give credit to Democratic Congress members here. All the way at the top, Leader Jeffries is the one running the show, but then you've got Democratic Congress member Garcia, and you've got a whole bunch of Democratic Congresswoman Lee, and all these people. They figured out how to do it and put these Republicans on the spot. That's fighting back, in my opinion. We'll keep you posted every step of the way.
So the walls are closing in here. It's just getting harder and harder. The scrambling has been ridiculous. Like we already went over with they don't exist. Oh, they do exist, but it's a hoax. Obama wrote them. That's not my letter in the binder. Meeting with Ghislaine Maxwell right now. The votes, calling a recess to avoid the votes, pretending the votes were no. It's like a game of chess, and you're getting backed in a corner with your king, and you're moving these little. It's like the end is there in sight, but you just won't admit defeat. You just won't concede, and you're just making these one little pointless moves. So what's going to happen after? If this is released, this is where we have to call on left, right, center, everyone to stand up for whatever you believe, whatever side you believe in. It's unfortunate. I feel bad for the right. If it was on the left, I would have absolutely no problem. I have no problem calling out Bill Clinton. I have no problem calling out Joe Biden. This needs to happen on the right. They need to call out Donald Trump. They need to call out all of these people. Higgins, everyone voting no, everyone blocking the votes. They all lied to you. They've played you for votes. You're okay with that? You're going to allow that to happen? I know you never want to admit you're wrong. We got to come together on this. It could be a unifying moment for ethical governance in our country against a common enemy. So we'll see what the fallout is. Thanks, guys. Like, subscribe, comment, request, whatever. Maybe music, movies, whatever. I'll check some stuff out, and I'm going to keep posting and making some videos. And thank you to everyone who watches.